Well, hello everyone, this is Cesar. I know it's been a long time, close to 8 months, but I didn't realize how long would it take to get settled for our new stage in our lives. Everything is now fine and dandy. I had to manage a lot of things, right, that kept my attention during these months. So I'm gonna try to retake all my activity with guitars and YouTube. We are doing really very well. Thank you to all of you who have been sending me messages, asking me how was I doing, and when I would come back to the channel. We're back, right? And we are going to try to upload lessons, covers, working guitars. Talking about working in guitars, we have there at the bench on my back my Yamaha SG 1820, because we are gonna do a lot of Santana sets here in Miami. I'm gonna take with me some of my PRSs, but of course I'm gonna take the Yamaha SG 1820, which is the guitar that Santana was playing in his early years. So we are gonna go back to the bench, restring the guitar, clean it, and of course send it. Bender is doing really very well. Let me show you. He's there sleeping, right? And now we are going to go back to the bench and start working on the Yamaha. Okay, so here we go. This is my Yamaha SG 1820. Those are fantastic instruments. They are not for production anymore, so you will need to buy it second hand. If you find one, buy it, especially if you like the humbucky sound. Those are extraordinary guitars. The only problem they have is that they are really very heavy. I think this is 11.5, close to 12 pounds, right? So it's not for the, let's say, easy, scared people, right? I mean, it's a very heavy guitar, but sounding absolutely fantastic, playing fantastic. I think they are much better than any Gibson Les Paul standard that you can find anywhere. This is my opinion, and I have Gibson Les Paul standards, and this is a much better guitar, by any means. Sustain wise, playability wise, I mean, the tone of the pickups is absolutely fantastic. In any case, so what we are going to do is we are going to restring it, clean the frets, I mean polish a bit the frets, clean the fretboard, string it back and set it up. We are going to do neck relief, string height, pickup height and intonation, the complete setup. So now the part that everybody absolutely hates, so we are gonna fast forward, right? We're gonna cut the strings. Okay, so we got rid of the old strings. Interesting for the people who don't know this guitar, right? The locking tuners are auto locking tuners. So once you put the string through, you basically start tightening the tuner and it immediately auto locks, right? Important for you to know. In these SGs, this was the system that Yamaha was using. So now what we are going to do is we are going to polish the frets a little bit, right? Because they are a little bit rusty. We're going to use the fret erasers that I got from Crimson Guitars many years ago. They are still, when I use them a lot. So we are going to use the fret guard that we have put some tape in order to protect the fretboard, and we are going to start polishing the frets. Okay. We have given a pass with the 600 and now we are going to use the 1200. Very good. The frets feel now really clean and well. And now what we are going to do is we are going to use some F1 oil. Is the only thing I use, and it's funny because these guys have become famous and I'm happy for them, right? But I'm using their products. I think you can go back to some of my first videos, 2014, something like that, and I was already using F1 oil. It's the best that I have tried. This is a new formula. They have changed the container. So feedback to the guys of Nomad Products, you need to solve this because this gets always stuck in there, right? We're gonna put just one drop in each one of the frets. And yeah, I mean, it's been a while, but believe me, I've been really busy managing many things, asset related, well, I mean, lots of things to do if you want to do the things in the right way. Of course, if you don't care and you don't give them, life is good. But if you care and you really want to do things in the right way, it takes time, advice, getting the right legal, tax, etc., advisors, many things, right? But now we are in, I would say we are settled. So I hope I would have time to retake my full activity in YouTube. I have always been a bit inconsistent, I admit that. But guys, I mean, I am a very busy guy, especially the last 5 years were really crazy, right? Okay, I think, see, quite a bit. Many people ask me, hey, how many times do you oil the fretboard? I mean, I oil the fretboard once per year, more or less. Not in every string change at all. Okay. We want to polish a bit the pickups because they are a bit rusty. Okay, good. I think we're good. Yes, we are. And again, some of the frets are dented, as I said, especially the first 5 ones, and then here around the 12th fret, right? But there's still some life to them before we level the frets with the fret leveling. Now, what is the idea? The idea is that we are going to do a little bit of a cleaning, not much because the guitar is not that dirty. Our microfiber cloth. Yeah, I mean the table, right? The noise it makes. And here on the headstock, what happens to you, man? I mean, why are you making so much noise? Now, much better. And for that, what we are going to use is another product of Music Nomad, the guitar detailer. It smells really very good. You can use this in every type of finish your guitar has. Nevertheless, recommendation, just try in a small spot if you have a nitro finish, right? Beautiful. Those guitars are absolutely fantastic. Made in Japan, handcrafted in Japan. Right? I bought it in, funnily speaking, I bought it in Singapore. This guitar has a beautiful story attached to it. Right? Yeah. I bought it in Singapore. While attending one of the company meetings, and it was not, I mean, I was not looking for her at all. though this is a kind of mythic guitar for me. When I was a kid and I was watching Santana playing the SG 2000 with that big flower over here, right? I mean, the roses and whatever. I was crazy about that guitar. I mean, Santana was the reason why I started playing electric guitar. I was already studying at the music school classical guitar, and then I graduated at the Conservatory of Music many years after that. But my kind of willingness to play the guitar was listening to Santana, because of Santana. And then I was totally in love with that guitar. And in a music store that was close to my parents' house, they were having one SG 2000, but the price was totally, I mean, I could not afford it. I mean, I was a small kid, right? And in the moment I saw her, she said, buy me. And this is what I did. And together ever since. I mean, it's my favorite guitar. I have PRSs, you know it. I have many beautiful and fantastic guitars, but this guitar is very special to me. So what we are going to do is, we are going to do a little bit of never dull here at the pickups, though I think it is already, I mean, it's how it is. It's aging, and this is why it has lost some of the chrome here, right? Give me just a second. Now, whenever you use never dull, use gloves. It's pretty nasty stuff. It's good for the purpose, but it's not the safest thing in the world. Use gloves, wash your hands, etc., etc., etc. Let me just give a little bit to the tailpiece. And when you store it like this, you know, upside down, so it never dries. I'm back. Okay. Yeah, I mean, much better, though clearly it's aging beautifully, but it's aging. The other day someone asked me a question in the studio about adjusting the pole pieces of the humbuckers. I mean, these screws here, right? I've never done it in many years that I've been playing guitars. I don't know why would you do that, right? But because you basically adjust the pickup height, and that should be okay. I have never done it. I don't know if it would mess up with the wax inside the pickup and whatever. My advice, don't do it. I mean, I've never done it. I don't know why you would need to do that. Good. So we're happy with that. We are going to start restringing before the good old pencil and some touches here at the nut. I have never used these products that they sell for lubricating the nut or whatever. I have always used the good old graphite from a good old pencil, right? Pen and gear in this case. Okay, just for the purposes of showing you how these locking tuners work, I'm gonna take the low E and give you a closer shot, right? So we're gonna do this. By the way, important to know, if you have one of those guitars, right, one thing that I really love about this guitar is that in opposition to the Gibson, when you basically release all the tension of the strings, the tailpiece falls, right, with the exception of some models, 2015 or so. In this one, they have a very small here, you see, I don't know if you can see them, but they have very small Allen screws that you tighten them and the tailpiece is totally attached to the two poles, so it won't fall, right, when you release the string tension. Now, what we do is we go here, and now is when I need to show you a closer look. I think this would do. How does it work? Well, you need to make sure that the hole is perfectly lined up, right? Because if not, you are not going to be able to make the string through, going through the pole, see? Okay? That's the only precaution you need to have in this type of tuners, okay? So, you get your string, you make sure that it's in the right position in the saddle, right? And once you start tightening the tuner, it will do click. You see? And it has already locked. Perfect. And then after that, you cut it, right? So we have on the low E, now we are going to do the high E. Let me go through the tailpiece first here on the back. Yes. Okay. And now the same operation, right? Making sure that it's sitting on the saddle, and the same story. Making sure that the hole is perfectly lined up, because if not, again, you are not going to make it through the pole. And now, once we start tightening, it will lock up. Pack. See? Locked. Okay, so the guitar is now tuned to pitch, and we are going to start measuring the neck relief, etc. Nothing should fundamentally change because we have used the same gauge of a string, 10 to 46, even the same brand, the Darius. One day we will talk about these guys that want to sell you a pack of strings at $40, right? But this is for another video. And the guitar at the end of the day is a system in equilibrium, right? So each parameter is related to each other, right? So we have not changed the gauge, the neck relief should not have changed, the intonation should not have changed. I keep my guitars I keep my guitars intonated and with the neck relief that I like. In my case, it's around 0.25 millimeters. I will put the conversion here in the screen. Thing is that my filler gauges are in millimeters. So cape on the first fret. Okay, as always, the right wrench for your truss rod. I cannot stress enough the need to use the right wrench. Keep the wrenches that come with the guitars, because that's the way you are using the right wrench. I have seen a lot of totally ruined truss rods because of using the wrong wrench. And we are gonna basically check the relief, cape of the first fret, you know, the finger where the neck meets the body, and 7th and 9th fret. I said 0.25 millimeters is what I use. And that's perfect, well, exactly as it was, right? Very good. So the neck relief has not changed at all, as we were expecting. Usually I do it, with simply taking a look at it, putting a finger here, then putting a finger there, and then tapping here, right? But hey, for the purposes of the video, we have used the filler gauges. I don't use normally the filler gauges. When you have done a million guitars, you know what to do. Now, let's get rid of the capo. String height with the Fret Guru, in my opinion, the best guitar ruler out there, right? And again, this channel is not sponsored by anybody. I mean, nobody pays me to say things and to sell you anything. We don't want to sell you anything here. This is simply, in my opinion, the best guitar ruler. The knockouts that you can find in Amazon have rough edges and you can ruin your fretboard. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to check the string height. Another thing that I do slightly different than some of the guys out there. I keep the same string height across all the 6 strings, because this is the way I guarantee that I keep the neck radius, right? So that's how I do things. You can agree or you can disagree. Now, string height. I orbitate around 1/16 of an inch, always, right? A little bit higher, a little bit lower, but I orbitate around 1/16 of an inch because that's the action that makes me feel comfortable. Remember that I am trained as a classical guitar player. In classical guitars, the action is much higher. When we talk about millimeters, it's around 3.5, and that's very low. 4.55 millimeters, and taking account that 1/16 of an inch is 1.5, 1.6 millimeters. So this is what we are gonna use the Fret Guru at the 12th fret, and it's really very good. It's exactly 1.6 millimeters. 1.6 millimeters, 1.5 something, right? So that's really good. We are not going to touch anything. We were expecting that, as I said, because I keep my guitars in very good use, but I always check after each string change. And now we are going to go back to the bench, and what we are going to do is pick up height and intonation, right? Again, I don't expect changes, fundamentally speaking, because we have not changed fundamentally anything in the guitar. Now, important is if you don't use standard tuning, I use standard tuning, you are going to have to set up your guitar for the tuning that you are using and for the string gauge that you are using. And that makes a huge difference, believe me, right? So we are going to go to the bench and we are going to do the intonation with the Kemper. Now, the pickup height is something very personal, right? This is for another video, but the right way of doing it is not simply taking measurements, is listening to what is the ideal tone that you get with different heights. If there are overtones, because if you keep it very close, you are going to hear a lot of overtones, and if you are keeping it very low, you are going to lose a lot of volume, for example, right? So in this guitar, the specs that I basically have is around 2.5 millimeters. So now what we're going to do is we are going to check the intonation with the Kemper Profiler. You see how it dances, right? The stroboscope as we speak, because the strings are vibrating. And the idea is that we are going to hit a harmonic at the 12th fret and then fretting the note at the 12th fret in each one of the strings. And as we have not changed anything fundamentally, it should be okay because I keep my guitars intonated. So let's go. Harmonic, tune to pitch, and then fretting. Perfect, doesn't move. Next one, tune to pitch. You see, static. Next one, tune to pitch. You see, let me just recheck here. Sorry. Very good. Next one, tune to pitch, and now fretting the note. Excellent. Very good. Threading the note. That's really good. The high is a little bit sharp, so we basically, let me go to the headstock. So we just tune it. These tuners are really, really very, very sensitive. So harmonic, tune to pitch, and now fretting the note. And it's really good. I keep my guitars always intonated and in good service, right? So you see. Well, this has been the video. I hope you have enjoyed it. See you next time in the next video, and up to that moment, as always, play your guitar, have fun, and be good. Bye.